Hello and greetings from across the Media Multiverse. Today I shall have a look at the Doctor Who story Castrovalva. This is Peter Davison's debut as the Doctor. I remember watching this as a child, and with a new Doctor and a new twice weekly time slot, this whole series felt more like Series 1 episode run rather than the 19th series in the long-running programme. But this video concentrates purely on that post-regeneration story and basically how does it fare all these decades later. The Doctor has regenerated from Tom Baker into Peter Davison, but unknown to him, he is still in the clutches of the Master. The Master has abducted Adric and sets the TARDIS coordinates for Event 1, the beginning of everything. By jettisoning part of the TARDIS, companions Tegan and Nyssa bring the TARDIS to the dwellings of Simplicity, the village of Castrovalva. Here, the Doctor is still befuddled by his regeneration and hopes for a permanent cure. But Castrovalva has a deep, dark secret. And so we enter the 1980s properly. We have a new Doctor and a new twice-weekly time slot, instead of the traditional late afternoon, early evening one of the preceding 18 years or so. I am going to start with the negative, which is basically episode 2. To me, it just feels like a lot of plodding around and padding in the grounds outside the village of Castrovalva. But this obviously means that everything else I'm going to say from now on is going to be mostly positive because this is a good story. Peter Davison shines and takes to the role of the Doctor straight away, like a duck to water. From the very beginning, he is a joy to watch. I especially loved his channeling of the earlier Doctors in episode 1. Now, with the Doctor going through his regeneration stress and Adric being abducted by the Master, it is up to fellow TARDIS companions Nyssa and Tegan to take the lead, which they do so well. My concern is that this is essentially the first day as shipmates for both of them, and they take to concepts such as shape-shifting regeneration and flying the TARDIS perhaps a little bit too easily. A few doubts about what is going on maybe would have enhanced their predicament. I mean, what would you do if you were in their situation? And the village of Castrovalva itself is a joy. Sometimes I wish I could visit it for real, alongside the Zero Room or the Fortress of Solitude from the Superman series. That Castrovalva hides a dark secret, which I'm redacting due to spoilers, is sad. And another worthy mention must go to Anthony Ainley. In this story and the preceding story, Logopolis, where Tom Baker regenerates, Ainley brings new life into the Master. He demonstrates evil through his performance and sets the course for the future, both his and the Master generally. Plot-wise, this story does have a few problems. It implies that the Master has some inferiority issues. He sets up the trap of bringing the TARDIS and crew to Event 1, and yet behind that trap he's got another trap, which is basically Castrovalva, And this is all behind his plan to invade Logopolis. Now, from our point of view as the audiences, we see this from the Doctor's perspective, and it all happens in one go. But perhaps the Master has spent time away from the scenes, devised everything, and then returned to this point in time. Even so, yeah. But that is me nitpicking, because overall this is a strong introduction to the new Fifth Doctor era, mildly let down by the plodding of episode 2, but I'm not going to dwell on that because overall it's a thumbs up. And those are my thoughts on Castrovalva. Are you a fan of this story? If so, I'd like to hear. If you're not a fan, also I'd like to hear. So until next time, may your news be good news and happy times and places. Farewell.